So congratulations, we have made it into BeachBoard, into hopefully the correct section. I'm making this video for a couple of sections, so if this is not your section, section 9, the due dates will be different. Most of the content will be similar, but the due dates will be different and the schedule will be different. So do pay attention to that, okay? All right. Now that we're in, we'll need to know where to go. This is your home page right here. You can always come back to it by clicking on the course home. As you can see, there's not a lot yet on the page, but as the course progresses, a number of announcements will be sent out to you and an archive of those announcements will appear here. You can click on this side of the page to the right and you'll notice, right, it gives the dates when some assignments are due. So that's another important tab to pay attention to. Now, to get into the content, we will go from left to right. We'll go to this button right here, Content. We're going to be spending a lot of time on this page, and we'll notice that we start it's starting us at the table of contents because that's what I last visited, but typically you'll be started right here with the overview, okay? And so there's a little welcome letter. It's very text heavy, so I always suggest when you reach something that's text heavy to look for the tabs to help guide you on a first reading. So on the first reading, I would be looking here and reading, okay, overview, and then I would be scrolling down until I get to sort of the next break, and that is a color break right here. I notice that I'm being sent to an outside link, which appears to be a syllabus, and if I continue on down, right, I notice that that's the crux of the text heavy message. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and ta-da, the student friendly syllabus. And I might take the same approach here, right? I'm not going to start at the top and read every single word on a first reading. I might do that on a second or third reading, and I'm probably going to chunk it, so I'm not going to read everything during the same sitting. That way my brain will retain the information for later. For now, again, I'm going to look for headers. On this particular view, I noticed that instead of headers, the information appears to be presented by differentiation in color. Right? And there's my plain text syllabus, so if I'm more comfortable with that one, I can always download that to my computer right there. And there it popped up for me, right? So if I'm more comfortable in a text-only format, I can certainly view the syllabus in that way. And of course, on a first reading, I would be paying attention to the headers, just trying to get myself organized, right? Here's some information about the withdrawal policy. Here's some information about what I need to know regarding technology. And then here's what I've been looking for when assignments are due, and so forth. And I will point out again on the first day of class, but when it says, for example, September 4th, and then I have these various readings right here, this does not mean that I'm reading 150 pages during class on September 4th. This means that prior to class on September 4th, I will have read approximately 150 pages, right? So I need to pace myself in the days leading up to this. So it's really important to work ahead here to pace myself for the larger assignments. I'll also notice that I've got this assignment here that's due on BeachBoard called the word cloud, and it looks as though that also is going to be due on September 4th, and something called the study schedule. This Q here refers to quiz, so it looks like I have 1, 2, 3 quizzes due on this particular date, and then I have a draft of something. So it's going to be a busy date, but it's always going to be a busy day because this particular section only meets once a week, right? So it's actually a full week's worth of work. Okay, so if I exit the syllabus here and I come back to the fun syllabus, I will notice, let's see here, that the same information can be found. Ooh, grades. I'll definitely want to pay attention to that. The same information can be found. I'm going to scroll all the way down, and I notice that I've got my course schedule subject to updates, which means my instructor's probably going to send me an announcement when she updates something, and I'm going to need to pay attention to those updates and make a note for myself. Okay, and there we have by unit our weekly schedule. You can see how much we're covering there. And as on the text-only syllabus, it's divided into in-class activities, the reading assignments due by that day. Obviously, the first day of class, it's hard to assign you work prior to that. The assignments due for that day. And then there's this section for additional resources, which if you're particularly interested in a topic, or you plan to write about it, or maybe you have some extra time in your weekly time allowance, which we'll talk about, you can use that time to pursue some additional resources. But they are optional if it's under additional resources. You're not required to use it. Okay, so coming back up, actually I'm going to exit the POP syllabus for now. You can spend some time investigating that prior to class or in the days immediately after the first day of class. And I'm going to come up here and I want to point out, returning to the table of contents, I want to point out, right, that one thing you're not going to find within the individual modules are the quizzes. You'll find lots of content. I'm still in the process of posting the content here, and you'll always have access to the content about at least a week before. But one thing that you'll need to navigate for yourself is if you come back up to this tab, we covered the course homepage, right? And then we covered the content. That's what we'll be doing on a weekly basis. For now, we're going to skip these buttons, okay? Although a lot of your assignments will be submitted using the Dropbox. And we're going to come all the way to quizzes. So these quizzes will not be within the individual modules. It will be your responsibility to come here and to complete them by the due dates listed on your syllabus. And here is an example of your first quiz. It's a quiz on your syllabus, on your syllabi actually, since you have 2 versions of them. And this quiz will assess a student's knowledge of the Criminal Justice 110 syllabi, including both the POP, that was the first one that we visited, and the text-only versions. And students should carefully read both versions prior to taking this quiz. We will spend some class time drawing some comparisons between the 2 syllabi, but it will be your responsibility to make sure that you are thoroughly prepared for this quiz. And this quiz may be completed using original sources, means that you're allowed to use the quizzes in front of you as you complete the quiz. How meta. So keep that in mind. Okay, and then it gives the date when it's due, when the quiz opens, when the quiz closes. You can take the quiz after the due date, you just won't get points for it, right? And then you have unlimited time to take it in, and then you have up to 10 attempts, okay? This exercise is not to test how carefully you can memorize the syllabus, but how carefully you can critically engage and read it and understand where to find the information that will cause you to be successful in this course. And by successful, I mean passing the course. And then when you're ready, of course, you can click on Start Quiz, although I highly discourage anyone from starting the quiz until after the first day of class and after we've completed the in-class reading comprehension activity on the syllabus. Okay, so that is pretty much it. You now know how to access your BeachBoard. You now know how to access your content on a weekly basis, and you also know where you can go to find your quizzes, and most importantly, where you can find your syllabus. And if you've already forgotten where that is, remember it's in the overview button in that welcome email. Right there is the POP syllabus with the link to the text-only syllabus that I highly encourage you to download and keep on your desktop. Woohoo! We made it. I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday for the first day of class, and we will continue this adventure together at that time. Have a good day.